Hi, I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for inviting me here to VNHRS, and thank you for able to organize this session. So today's my topic is the clinical cases using Insight X and OT near field. So I am introducing Insight X system. So Insight electrical anatomical mapping system launched almost 20 years ago. It launched in 2003. It was the second electroanatomical system. The difference between the Insight and CARO system was the CARO system was the magnetic field based algorithm, but Insight system was impedance technology based algorithm. So after then, many developed system developed. Previous mode was Insight NavX mode, but the Insight X system provides Insight voxel mode. So usually the Insight precision system and previous system was catheter location is purely based on the impedance data, but Insight voxel mode is the catheter location is based on magnetic data. So it collects voxels, which allows impedance-based electrodes to be shown, and we should introduce AC2 first, and it gives us non-rigid portion of AC catheter location is based on impedance and magnetic data. And the catheter shape is consistent despite local impedance change. When you use the NavX mode, the catheter shape is sometimes dislocation and moves or when the magnetic field changes. But when you use the Insight voxel mode, the catheter shape is very stable during the procedure, especially when you're doing the ablation. You have to insert sensor-enabled tools to create the voxel field. So usually it's flexibility and tacticath or advisor FL or advisor VR catheter, and also advisor HD grid catheter has there is a sensor in the distal shaft, and you can create a voxel field and you can see the voxel mode. So what is voxel mode? This is Insight voxel mode. In computer graphics, a voxel is a three-dimensional volume of a space. And Insight X system, voxels are linked between magnetic and impedance data, and which allows non-rigid portions of sensor-enabled tools to visualize and used for data collection. So after creating this kind of voxel field, you can clearly see the catheter shape, and stable catheter mapping is possible. So voxel and sensor-enabled tools give us the stable catheter manipulation and catheter shape. But when there is a low voxel density, there is a low confidence state. You have a limitation when you're creating the maps. But when you create high voxel density, there is a high confidence state. All direct electrodes on the catheter are visible, and 3D data can be collected from the old electrode. When you use the lasso SL catheter or AC grid catheter, the sensor is located distal of the shaft, but the ablation catheter gives us more accurate information when you put the ablation catheter inside the voxel mode. So when there is no voxel mode, I usually put the ablation catheter to create voxel field. So, and when you use the Insight precision system, the standard catheter without the SC electrode can create the anatomy or can get EGM information from the catheter. But the limitation of Insight X voxel mode is that you cannot do that without standard catheter. So you can collect the EGM or 3D anatomy only from the AC catheter. So that is a little limitation with the voxel and Insight X system. So this is how I map the left atrial voltage map with the H grid catheter. This is ICE mode, ICE catheters. This is a view of ICE images. So this is the HD grid catheter. I insert the HD grid catheter into left side of the epithelium. This dot is the voxel field. You have to create this kind of voxel field to get a precise anatomy or mapping. So this is, I'm getting the respiration curve. The difference between the Insight Precision System and Insight X is the respiration algorithm is very accurate as compared to previous versions. So you can see the respiration curve like this with the Insight X system. So after I create the Foxcell field a little bit, until then the HT grid catheter does not collect the data, but after creation of the Foxcell field, you can get this kind of voltage and anatomical data accurately with the HT grid catheter. So for the creation of a precise anatomy, making the Foxcell field is essential during the mapping. As you know, the advanced HT grid catheter has 16 electrodes on grid and magnetic sensors located between the shaft electrodes 17 and 18. This is distal tip part of the shaft. So I think that the most beneficial thing with the HT grid catheter is the bidirectional sensitivity of the bipolar recording. So as you know, the activation wavefront is perpendicular to the electrode pair. In that case, there is no difference between the distal or proximal electrode unipolars. So the voltage, the difference between the voltage is very small, and the system recognizes that there is almost no voltages. But the Insight system with the HD wave solution can give us information independent of orientation of the wavefront. So it can the Insight Precision System best duplicate feature used highest template EGM for each set of orthogonal biplanes. So it is independent of your wavefront propagation. So when there is along the splines, there is a high voltage, and when there is wavefront across splines, there is a low voltage in usual situation. But the HD wave solution gives us this kind of high voltage, even though the wavefront is parallel to the catheter orientation. This is the voltage map with the HD grid HD wave solution, and this is voltage map with the circular mapping catheter without the HT wave solution. So the precise, when you create this kind of voltage map, you can see, you can get a precise, more detailed voltage data with the high density voltage map using HT wave solution with the map of the web of the HT grid catheter. Insight X system has omnipolar technology, is a more advanced technology as compared to the HT wave solution. So omnipolar electrograms determines from a click, which is a triangular set of 3 electrodes, and the EGM is calculated in all directions, that is 360 degrees. It gives us automatic selection of EGM with maximum flow voltage. So it is more advanced as compared to the HT wave solution. So this is the omnipolar algorithm is a combination of unipolar and bipolar combined into one. So it can give us omnipolar voltage, and it can give us this kind of activation direction. It can give us information about wave speed. So omnipolar, there is a paper published last year to compare the HT wave solution and the omnipolar voltage map. This is the bipolar voltage map obtained with the HT grid catheter in status of atrial fibrillation. This is omnipolar voltage map in status of atrial fibrillation. And this is bipolar voltage maps obtained in sinus rhythm. So this kind of areas, only bipolar voltage map show that there is a low voltage area, but this is because there is some kind of wave collision or fractionation map. So just bipolar voltage map using, even with the HT wave solution, cannot define the real high voltage area, but the omnipolar technology gives us real information about where is the real high voltage area. So even though the mapping was performed in the atrial fibrillation, it correlated with the bipolar voltage map in sinus rhythm. So the wavefront independence of catheter orientation, while wavefront orientation is in the status of atrial fibrillation, there is a big big benefit of omnipolar voltage with the mapping with AC grid catheter. The second, the other thing I want to talk about is the CT. When you do the anatomical mapping during the ablation, the respiration variation is very essential things you have to consider. So 2 or 3 years before, we usually do the CT image integration into 3D mapping system with the Navix or Cardo system, but you have to know that the respiration difference is very challenging when you have the respiration difference between the CT image or 3D images. So this image shows that the respiration compensation during the 3D mapping. So this is a Cardo system. When Cardo system has end-expiration gating algorithm, and you can only collect the 3D geometry data during the end expiration. So this paper shows that there is changes in left atrial anatomy due to respiration, and during the end expiration, the anatomy goes up, and during the end inspiration, the anatomy goes down. So you have to take the CT scan at the same respiratory phase with the same respiratory phase during the 3D anatomy acquisition. So before the EnSight-X or precision system, even with the EnSight X version 1, it doesn't have the end expiration gating, but the EnSight-X version 2 has the end expiration gating. So this is the anatomy without the expiration gating. This red anatomy is with the end expiratory gating. So it can give us more detailed information about the accurate information independent of respiration shiftment. Now I will move on to EnSight OT near field algorithm. It usually called peak frequency algorithm. As you know, there is always a far field electrogram or near field electrogram. But this EnSight X system has the OT near field algorithm, so it gives us information about the local high frequency electrogram. So as you know, the sharpness does matters when you decide this is the far field or this is near field. So far field signal gives us a lower signal frequency. Near field signal gives us high signal frequency. So signal frequency can be used to analyze electrograms to assess near field versus far field. So higher signal frequency is indicated of the signal being local near field. So, and also frequency can also be utilized as a surrogate for the context. So low frequency means far field or poor context. So the electrograms, when you have to choose during the mapping, is the local higher signal frequency. That means near field signals. So EnSight OT near field system gives us near field detection algorithm. So it annotates signal components of the maximum frequency within the mapping window. It detects EGM sharpness independent of amplitude. So it's very different from the previous algorithm. It favors annotation of signal with high amplitude. So everybody say that higher amplitude does not matter. The sharpness matters for you when you detect the near field signals. So it is available also for omnipolar mapping or bipolar signals. So this is a peak frequency map with the near field algorithm. So this is white portion is area of high frequency area. So this is a near field area. This is just the base voltage map. Just a little difference between the voltage map between the peak frequency map. So when you use this kind of near field algorithm during the map, you have to use this. We usually use this EnSight OT voltage plus peak frequency emphasis map. It gives us information about voltage and peak frequency area. When you adjust the frequency field frequency level, it give us detailed information about the voltage and near field algorithm. So this slide shows the clinical applications of the OT near field algorithm. So this clinical application for emphasis map can be divided into two categories. This area is critical isthmus and gap detection. The empty area is low voltage or far field areas, and this area is near field voltage with near field signals with near field high frequency signals. In that area, you can choose the target area, and application of that ablation that area can successfully terminate the tachycardia. So this is the redo case from redo case after post PBI isolation. When you see the, as you know, there was some kind of far field electrograms when you map the whole area of the left side of the heart. So although there is a little high voltage is there, but it could be far field electrogram from the other areas. So we can adjust the peak frequency like that, and you can see the area remains after adjust frequency level. So this area is the near field algorithm, near field high voltage area, even though the level was emphasis level was high. So we think that this kind of area is a real conduction area after the PBI isolation. And the other benefit of Insight X system with the version 2 while version 3 is Voxel Flex mode. And previous version of the Insight X, especially version 1, we cannot switch into the impedance mode to Voxel mode. So we have to get out of the map and go inside again and create a new map. But inside the Voxel Flex mode give us, we can switch the impedance and magnetic field at the same time. So it gives us a very important thing. Now I will give you some of my ablation procedure these days and cases I performed with the Insight X system with the HD grid and peak frequency algorithms. So my current stage of atrial fibrillation ablation is that zero fluoroscopy procedure using ICE and 3D mapping and high power short duration for PBI isolation. And when I do the additional ablation, I usually perform low voltage and GAFE fractionation guided ablation and additional non-PB trigger or additional linear ablation if needed. So this is my partial atrial fibrillation ablation workflow. I usually perform with a single groin puncture and after diagnostic catheter positioning, baseline ICE catheter check, and single transcendental puncture, and I induced the atrial fibrillation with the isoproterenol with the 20 micro per minute, and I perform the 80 voltage and atomic mapping with the HD grid catheter, and I perform the PBI isolation. Usually during the, if it terminates during the PBI isolation, and I give additional isoproterenol and induction with the same protocol, and when there is no PB trigger or no inducible tachycardia, I check the PBI isolation and finish the procedure. This is my workflow for the partial AFib. I'm doing the high power short duration ablation with the TactiCath or TactiFlex catheter. These days I'm using TactiFlex catheter with the 50 watts second duration. I will rival with my short case. So this is a 77-year-old male, partial atrial fibrillation, and he has a history of hypertension and diabetes. And this is how I insert my catheter without the fluoroscopy. So this is the real recording of my procedure. So there is no fluoroscopy window because I do not see the fluoroscopy during the procedure. After insertion of the decapolar catheter into the SVC and drag down the catheter like this and take the his areas and clockwise rotation give us the insertion of the catheter to the CS catheter. Sorry about that. So I put the catheter inside and I put another decapolar catheter at the right side of the atrium. And I insert another his catheter to know that where is the his. Okay, so this is the performed it during the Navix mode because Foxel mode, using the Foxel mode, we have to create a Foxel mode, but the standard catheter in Foxel mode cannot create this kind of anatomy. So the second step is the septal puncture without fluoroscopy. I am inserting ice catheter, and first thing is check the baseline pericardial effusion with the ice catheter, and this is the SVC. I insert the wires, and I follow the wires. The SLCS is following the wires, and I am drilling down the sheath. And there's a tenting you can see, and I puncture the septum, and SL1 sheath inside there. Sometimes I put the ice catheter into left atrium to see the left atrial appendage. So I just insert the left ice catheter into the left atrial left side of the atrium, and you can clearly see the distal tip of the left atrial appendage with the ice catheter inside the left atrium. After then, I changed the SL sheath into Agilis catheter usually. So I'm a big fan of Agilis catheter. So when I do the procedure, I like to use Agilis catheter for almost all cases of the AF ablation. The next step is LA voltage mapping with the HD grid catheter. So from this moment, I change it to a Foxel mode and create the anatomy ablation during the Foxel mode. So it is catheter shape and movement is very stable as compared to the previous Navix mode. So after the creation of this kind of anatomy, I can see this kind of voltage and fractionation map. And inside the OT voltage and peak frequency emphasis map give us more detailed anatomy and high frequency near field area, where is my usual target for the most interesting target area during the procedures. And by using turbo map, you can change this voltage map to GAFE or fractionation map at the same time. My next step is PB isolation, but as you know, the isolation step is very, so I'll skip this part. And usually takes 20 to 30 minutes to perform PB isolation. So during the ablation, the AFib terminate during the ablation. And there was some intra-PB atrial fibrillation during the ablation. After the PB isolation, we checked the PB isolation with the HD grid catheter. And grid catheter shows that there was no signals. This is RIPB areas. So we checked the 4 veins. After that, I induced the atrial fibrillation again with the isoproterenol 20 microgram per minute. And the HD grid catheter is inside the SVC to see that whether there is SVC trigger or not. After then, this patient has this kind of APCs after doing the isoproterenol infusion. So I decided to map the pHs and eliminate the pH. So I insert the ablation catheter, HD catheter to the left atrium again, and I mapped the pHs. The pH was located, the origin was located roof of the left atrium. The activation map and propagation map showed that there is a pH focus from the roof, and I performed the ablation at the roof area, and the pH was eliminated. So this is the end of the procedure, that there is no pHs and there is no inducible tachycardia or flutters. So this is the procedure summary. The procedure time was 95 minutes, including induction and pH mapping and ablation time. Ablation time was 18 minutes, and fluoroscopy time was 0. So in conclusion, you can create the inside axis system give us very stable anatomy and voltage and near field information during the procedure, and you can create the geometry or voltage with the HD catheter, and the stabilized ablation catheter movement give us more easy manipulation or more short procedure time to do the procedure. Thank you for your attention.
Like, subscribe buttonnya.